Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 23, I'm pretty sure, of the Front Porch Knitter podcast. Oops, sorry, I kicked the table. I'm going to give you all a heart attack or something. I'm Lucy Ann, and I'm the Front Porch Knitter, and I'd like to welcome you all here. If you've come before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy what that's a royal we, what I talk about while we're here, and get some information from some of the things that I make. I come on because I need to talk about my knitting, and I hope that what I talk about inspires others. So let's start with what I'm wearing, because I'm taking the hat off because it is a little warm for that. But you've seen this before if you're a return viewer, but this is the Bolton Pass hat by Espace Tricot, knit in Juniper Moon Fiber Patagonia, and I think the colorway was Cinnamon. And this was last year's cast on at the Winter Gathering in Sussex, New Brunswick. And next weekend is this year's Winter Gathering. So those of us who cast on the Bolton Pass will be bringing it with us, so we'll get a picture, so maybe you'll see that. And we have a new cast on this year, and we have to wait to find out what it is. So that is kind of fun. And this is a great hat with a little bit of twisted rib. It's a lightweight one. I am not a huge hat wearer. My head stays fairly warm. I don't need a lot of hat. So I like these lighter weight. This one is a light DK. It should be a DK, but I did it in a light DK. And I'm wearing my Saturday Shrug by Jackie Rose. I love this. I have two of them. This one is in Knit Picks Wonder Fluff in the colorways Red Clay and Abyss Heather. I'm just looking for the composition. 70% baby alpaca, 23% nylon, 7% merino. That's the two colors, and it's just a ribbed tube that you pull down over. When you go to put your coat on, you pull it up and it becomes a cowl, and it just keeps you warm across your back and your shoulders. It's kind of windy out today, so the house is a little bit cooler, and this is just what I need over just a long sleeve t-shirt. I like this sort of little capelet style, especially when I'm working in the house, because it leaves my arms free, and when I need it out of the way, it's easy to take off and put back on. So that's what I'm wearing. And, you know, I would probably knit another one of these because I do like them, and I wear the two I have a lot. Okay, so it's been a while, and I'm a bit out of practice. And in case you can't tell, my voice is a little fuzzy because I've had a cold. Hopefully I will not have a coughing fit. I do have tea handy in case I start, but I apologize for that. But I wanted to get this done and up because I feel like I have a lot to talk about, and it's just been so busy since the holidays that I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk to you. So I'm in a bit of a different spot in my yarn cavern, hole, room, storage area. I don't know, but I do like this. There used to be a double bed in this room. We took the double bed out and we put in a day bed, which converts to a king, which in lots of ways is more practical for our family for an extra bed. And it also gives me more space in here. So that makes good sense. So let's start with the finished objects. We will start with, feels like I finished these ages ago because I did finish them on time. I didn't bring my sock blockers over, but you guys are okay with that, right? These are my Woolens and Nosh Advent socks. And I did, I sort of modified Dana Ray's hearth sock pattern. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know if I would do it again on a self-striping. It just didn't work out exactly the way I thought it would, but I'm still happy with them. I'm still going to wear them, and I love them. I also have to take these with me to the winter, it's the sole, to the winter gathering. because a bunch of my friends also knit them. And we're going to get a picture of our feet, I think. So I finished those. I have left, I didn't write it down, but about 12 grams of each of the 2 skeins, and I don't know, like 2 or 3 grams of the colored. So I'll be able to do something, even if I might just do the leg of a sock or the foot of the sock in the stripes and do the leg in a solid. I have lots of Kory, Paton's Kory solid in charcoal or black, which would both look good, and that would give me another pair of socks. And this was the little bag they came in, and it was fun. Some people didn't like that everyone's skein wasn't the same, didn't start at the same place, so the colors didn't come up the same, so they were worried about showing. But you know what? I think the fun was seeing what your next color was. And unless you were paying really close attention to someone's Vlogmas or whatever, I didn't notice, like it didn't bother me. So I'm very happy with them. I love this Targhee base that she uses. Michelle, like, she's an amazing dyer, and this base just complements her dye skills so well. It's such a cozy base. So those will be going with me to the East Coast, where it is probably colder and there is more snow than there is where I live. So that's a start of my finished objects. The next finished object I have, it's all socks, and I didn't bring blockers. Note to self, don't forget your blockers. I should put them, there's a cabinet right here. I should store them in that cabinet. My friend Heidi gave me this sock set. It is Small Fish Yarns in Candy Cane Lane, and Ruby was the mini. And it's an 80-20 merino nylon base, which they were so much fun to knit. Just did a plain vanilla sock, afterthought heel and toe. These were my Christmas Day cast on, I do believe. I like that I'm a good 2-sock finisher, but they're fun. And they're Christmassy, but not. So I'm going to take those along with me too, probably. Because, you know, it's always fun to wear new socks no one's seen before. These ones were a Christmas gift. Didn't get finished before Christmas, but they're my husband's Christmas gift, and he doesn't know he got them yet. And so when I take them downstairs after this and give them to him, he'll be thrilled. He'll think they're a Family Day gift, because today is Family Day in Ontario. It's just a vanilla sock. They are knit in comfort wool, which is just a commercial sock. Now these ones I hand knit. You'll understand why I'm saying that in a few minutes. And the heel is Paton's Kory in charcoal. But this is a lot of knitting. And this type of knitting is the kind of knitting that I mostly do when I'm at appointments with, you know, some of the people I support. And so I try not to work on them at home. So I thought, oh, that's perfect for his Christmas gift, because then he won't see them. Well, yeah, except I also didn't get them finished. But, you know, that's okay. So that was sort of, like, I don't think there was a hat or two done that were gifted as Christmas gifts, and I didn't even take pictures of them. Everyone got socks, but most of them were socks you would have seen over the course of the year. Like, they were things that I finished and just put in my basket throughout the year last year. So you would have seen all those things that I gifted. And yeah, there was not... You'll see why, because I've been sweater knitting, but there aren't a lot of knitted finished objects this time, which I know you guys sort of think I'm like this crazy speedy knitter. Well, if all I knit was socks, yeah, but I knit other things. So what were my other finished objects? So as I alluded to, I hand knit those tubes. But after Christmas, and I'm going to apologize to Marissa because we had spoken at one point about maybe getting together to set up our sock machines, but I got impatient. Before, oh, it was back in the spring. I should look it up. I think it's Beaver Valley Fibers. Let me verify that. No, Bear Valley. Let me just verify that though to make sure that I have the right name. I've been watching. I would love to have like a metal high-end sock machine, but that just isn't in, it just isn't in my budget right now. Oh, maybe it is Beaver Valley. Oh. If I could spell, that would also help. Yeah, I can't figure it out. I'll make sure it's linked down below though. It's Rachel is her name. She's lovely. She's an amazing helper. She does 3D printed sock machines. And I posted about it in my stories a few weeks ago. And I got one of the refurbished ones, and it was actually this time last year because she had a Valentine's sale, and this one was a refurbished one in the Valentine's sale. So it was quite a bit less expensive. And I sort of went and jumped on it. And then it sat in a box under my table for, 10 or 11 months, because somewhere in my head, I thought, oh, I have to have a lot of time to sit down and set this up and to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it and if it's going to work. And I convinced myself it was going to be a lot of work. And so about 3 weeks ago, I finally just sort of went, you know what? It was one of the first days after John was allowed to drive. So he had knee surgery just before Christmas, a week before Christmas, and he was not allowed to drive until the middle of January. And it was just after, because that was one of the first days I had the house to myself. That's the crazy thing here in the winter, because our son works seasonal, so he's home a lot in the winter. I mean, he does other things in between, but he's still around. And John, with his knee surgery, was home. And it isn't, although everyone's in the house right now, I always find it hard to get a chance to just sort of lock myself in the craft room. I feel guilty doing it, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I had a day where I sort of went, okay, I'm just going to go into the craft room and I'm going to work. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to see how hard it is. So I set it up. I clamped it to my desk. I put on the YouTube video on how to set it up. And that day I cranked 5 tubes. And then I did one more after that before I put it away. So I've done 6 tubes. I'll show them each to you. This one is Lime Brand Sock Ease. So these are all commercial sock yarns. And they're done on a 60 stitch. I have to order more hooks. Because mine came as a 60 stitch, probably because it was a refurbished one, because I think most of her standard ones come as 64s. And I have the 64 cylinder. I just need to get more needles. So this is a Lime Brand Sock Ease, and the colorway is Martini. I'm counting these as finished objects because there are finished sock tubes. I still have to cut in the heels and toes. This one is another comfort sock wool, and yeah, the colors are just numbers. This is kind of a camouflage, but they're quite, quite a good length. This is it folded in half. So I should be able to get easily a pair of socks for my husband or our son out of those, and probably a little more. And I'll show you when I'm done showing you all the tubes. I did save a little bit of each tube for other things. This is another comfort sock wool. I kind of like this one in blues. It's the same as the green one, but in blues. This one, I don't even know where I got it. I only paid $10 for this skein of Opal Joy, and I'm sure there's no color. I'm sure this color is just a number 2, or the number might be Joy, but it's a patterned. It came out kind of cool, and I love this one. This is Flotta Sock Patagonia, and it's just a beautiful color, like just the way the colors fade. And it came out really nicely on this size. And I really, easy. I really like the stitch size. I like the density of the fabric. And it seems a little bigger than my hand knit 60 would be. Like it's closer to a hand knit 64 stitch sock. So I'm not sure. This one is a Prolana Fashion J. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, so it wasn't hard to set it up at all. Like, I just did it and it worked right away. I didn't have to monkey around with it at all. Ironically, the 6th one was the hardest one because the yarn had a couple of little slubs in it and the needles didn't grab them the right way. So I had a couple of drop stitches I had to fix. Like that was the hardest thing. And that is, I mean, you know, that's a learning curve. And it's like everything else. Like I think even like, for example, spinning, which we'll talk about in a minute, I think it's good to have things go wrong early in the process so you know how to fix it. And yeah, so I don't know why I waited a year to set it up. But anyway, so for next year, those people who just like a plain vanilla sock, I can now crank them sock tube. So I kept a little bit of each one, and I don't know how much exactly. I just dropped one on the floor, so you're not going to get to see it. But because I usually take a little bit of every sock I do to put in my Cozy Memories blanket. So I saved some out that I could do that with. And also if I needed it for, like I have solids to do heels, toes, and cuffs for most of these. So I'm not anticipating that I'll need them, the bits for anything else, but I have them. I don't know why. I thought that was a good idea, but so I did it. And that's all I can say. I really like, it was easy. It was an easy learning curve. It was easy, like it's back in the box underneath my table safely. And it would take me 5 minutes now to bring it back out because it's already got, like it's got a leader on it. So I don't, like to start, I didn't have a setup on it. So I had to create the beginning. And I just made my sock, the weights for it. I had to have soft weights to make it work. If you have a machine, you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, it doesn't mean anything anyway. I just used aquarium gravel, and everyone, if you don't have this, it's just because you throw them out right away, has a bag of odd socks laying around. And I just went into that bag and pulled out ones that I knew were odd socks of mine that we were never going to find the mate to ever. And I just used the socks to make the weights. And yeah, it literally in less than an hour, I was cranking tubes. So I don't know. It probably took me longer to rewind from balls into cakes because it's easier to crank from cakes than balls. And it's easier to crank from cones than cakes, but I don't have a cone winder. So yeah, like I can't believe I waited a year, because in my head, it was going to be hard. And then in reality, it wasn't. Anyways, so that's another new thing I've got on the go. And that will help for like my dad, right? He loves his wool socks, and his wool socks take forever to knit. And I probably will take one of these tubes with me to knit it, to do heels and toes in for him. And I'll probably take a tube with me to do heels and toes for my cousin Bert, who, you know, the guy who made me the little yellow duck from the episode before, because he loves his wool socks too. So, and if all I have to do is heels and toes, that's like an evening of knitting. And I do have knitting time when I'm there, even when I'm just with my parents. But it's going to be my mom's birthday when I'm there, so we'll have some other fun things to do too. I also plied, washed, and dried 2 spinning projects. One is, and I haven't weighed them or measured how long they are or any of those things. I don't really have the tools to do the how long it is, so it would only be a guesstimate anyway. I think this is probably a heavy fingering light DK. This is Firefly Haven, and the colorway is Wavelength. And I'd have to find the tag to know what the, I'm pretty sure it's just 100% merino, but I really love it. It's just beautiful shades of blue blended together. And I just 2-plied this, and it literally is, I split the yarn in 4 and on 4 different bobbins, and then plied it, and it came out pretty close. There was a little bit, and there always is, like, you're never exact, there's always a little bit, and I don't know what to do with that little bit, so right now it's just wound up in my spinning basket. But yeah, so that's this skein, which I really like. I need more space to put things. And this one is just a Malibrigo braid that I bought, and I just split it and did it onto, and then did some matching and finagling to get as much out of it as I could without having too much left over. And this is really pretty. This would be nice color work in a yoke. I really like these colors. And you've seen these on the bobbins before they were plied, and this is also a 2-ply. I would like to chain ply something, but what happens is I know I can 2-ply, and then I have these precious ones, and then I think, oh, I don't want to chain ply that, because what if I can't do it? And again, like the crank, it's probably not as hard as I think it is in my head. I just need to watch a couple videos and learn how to do it. And yeah, that'll be the next thing I do. But yeah, so those are all my finished objects. And I guess that is quite a few things. But this is even more things, and it is a bit crazy. I sort of went on a cast on spree. And I guess that's okay, because sometimes you just want to work on something different. But having said that, I wanted you to see where I'm at on the things I am working on. So, in my beautiful Van Dyke Designs bag, I have I'm working on one of the front panels right now of this cardigan that I'm knitting for my aunt's granddaughter, so my cousin's daughter. I have this panel, this is the left side is almost done. And I have the back done. It isn't blocked yet. It's moss stitch, seed stitch, whatever you want to call it. Interestingly, it's very obvious in this how when you work that stitch, it pulls on the bias. So I'm going to have to block it quite aggressively to get it so it's not so squagged. And I have both sleeves done. So I just have one more front panel. I think the front panel that's on the needles maybe needs an hour of work. I cannot take this anywhere. I can't work on this if the television show is too engaging. I can work on it if I'm listening to an audiobook, but I need to read every row. And that is not typically how I knit. I knit when I'm watching television. I knit when I'm reading a book. I knit. And so this has to be, I have to dedicate time and plan to work on it, which shouldn't be such a big deal, except that I'm also kind of a selfish knitter, which I shouldn't be. I should be more selfless and work on this and get it done, because I have to do 2 more sweaters for it. One more cardigan like this, and then a pullover. And I was going to do the pullover, the Sauvin sweater, which I still may do. I want to have a good look at it. But I've since seen a couple of other ones that I really like, so I might switch what I do the pullover. She doesn't care what pattern I use. She's just, you know, she used to knit them all the time. And when we were kids, she would knit them for us. And she just can't, I don't know, her eyesight's not as good. Her hands don't work the same way. I mean, she's 78, 79. And she just doesn't, she finds following patterns harder. And part of it is that she's used to working from those really old patterns. Like this cardigan, it's a 1-page pattern. The whole pattern and the charts is 1 page. And there's no written out instructions for the cables. It's only a chart. I get it. Like, you have to, you know, it doesn't say do this. This is the row. These are all the things you have to do. It says do this while doing this, making sure you also do this, and that it matches that. So you have to really be on top of where you are in the pattern. And I get that that gets harder as you get older. I also get that someone who's not an experienced knitter and who doesn't understand the construction of the sweater would find that harder. And that's not her issue, because obviously she's been doing it for a long time. I think she just loses track of, you know, doing neck decreases and arm decreases and still doing the cabling and getting everything to match on both sides. I did do the sleeves 2 at a time to make sure they matched, because I do find that harder. I always end up with one sleeve longer than the other, and I never have any idea what I did wrong. And it says things like, sometimes it says, and repeat rows 1 through 6 8 times. And then you have to you have to look at it and figure out how many stitches that's going to give you at the end, and to know whether that is 8 times total, or do it once and then do it 8 more times. All those things, all that math is more than casual pick it up and set it down. It's not pick it up and set it down knitting. And I did get quite a bit done on it over the holidays. And I have gotten quite a bit more done on it in January, but I have to say in February, I haven't worked on it very much at all. So, but it's also not a project I'll take with me to the East Coast, because I'll be doing a lot of social knitting, and that is not social knitting by any means. So I love it. I guess I flashed it pretty fast, didn't I? I love it. I love the pattern. Like, I love these hearts and the braid down the side. And I always love the texture of seed stitch. It has this really nice, just a little twisted stitch along the front edge. So once it's all blocked, that'll be a really tidy edge to put your button bands on. It is beautiful. It's Berroco Vintage DK. I don't know what the colorway is. In the lovely color 21193. So Berroco Vintage DK and 21193. And I bet there's a color name for that, but I don't know what it is. But I do like it. And I do think that Berroco Vintage is a great yarn for kids knits. Like, it's the best of both worlds. So it is 52% acrylic, 40% wool and 8% nylon. So it's going to wear well. You get the warmth of wool, but you get the forgiving qualities of acrylic. And I don't love using acrylic, like from an environmental standpoint and all those other things. But I think when you knit for children, you sometimes have to think about the parents. And kids knits, because they grow so fast, they can get passed along, right? I have knits my kids wore and they barely look worn because they don't wear them, you know, they grow so fast. And I have done like added extra length on cuffs and things for this because kids typically grow taller, not bigger around the quickest. So I do want to get it done, and I've sort of set myself a goal. So I'm in New Brunswick this week, and then the next time I'm back is April for the Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. So I think it's just after Easter. I want to try and have the second cardigan pretty much done by then. And I think it should go faster just because I'm more comfortable with the pattern. And like I can read my mistakes faster. Like this first one, when I'd make a mistake, I'd be quite a few rows past it before I would notice, and then I'd have to rip back. And but now that I've got the pattern established more in my head, even though I have to look at it for every row, I think I can manage it better, hopefully. And I have the yarn for it already. It's another vintage DK in a blue color, which I think you may have seen before. But yeah, so that was one thing I'm working on. And then I think almost everything else is a new cast on that you've never seen before. So let's just see. So one of my favorites is in my Hohe bag, which I think I might have shown you on the last podcast. I'm not sure. And it is my pressed flowers cardigan. I'm almost to, or I might be at split for sleeves, and that might be why I haven't worked on it for a little bit, because have I split for sleeves? Yes, I have actually. So I'm not splitting because I'm steeking. I have started the sleeve section. So I am now working up I love these colors. It is lichen and lace in their, this base is their, the colorway's beat, I do know that, and it's their rustic heather sport, and it's 100% Canadian wool, and the colorway is beet, which is a nice dark wine, and the flowers are in this Noro Garden Light, Noro Silk Garden Light, and the color is 2084. So and this one I have the pattern in my head now, like I can just work around on it. This I can watch TV and maybe not be too social, but I can be a little bit social and work on this. It's just a big project. I don't know if I'm going to take it or not because it's, you know, it's half a cardigan already. But that I'm working on and I am enjoying it. I need to put it back in the bag so I don't lose any of the bits. And it's really nice because there's not going to be very many ends because you can, first of all, I'm steeking it. And then you can splice the lichen and lace for sure. The Noro, not so much, but so that's my second project. And I am enjoying working on it. It's just big, like can't take it anywhere. It's a big project. And that is part of my problem. I have a lot of biggish projects. Or then I have this vintage DK in a purple heather, which is color, I never know if anyone cares, 21176. And I am doing a toddler size love note. And I did the provisional cast on, and I'm almost to the short rows in the bottom for this, but I really like it. I love this color. I think this is a great way to do a love note for a toddler, because I don't think the mohair is as, I mean, I do mine in finger. I actually have one that's done just in DK as well, but I think the mohair and fingering for a little one is just a lot of fluff. But I knit most of this in one evening. I just wanted something that was easier to work on. And I've knit a few love notes, and so this lace pattern to me, like, it's pretty intuitive. And yeah, I could probably be working on the sleeves. I could probably have the short row. The short rows I need to pay a little bit more attention because that's a bit more back and forthing. But I mean, I could probably have this done in 2 or 3 hours. I just need to work on it. So I haven't decided if I'm taking this with me or not, but I think I could get it finished pretty quick. But it's going to be cute. It's for my little goddaughter, just because she needs a cute little sweater. And then someone showed, oh, the Grocery Girls showed this plug and play slip over by, who's the plug and play by? Pairs well with knitting. And it was a chunky weight or worsted end mohair. So I love my Lulu slipover. I really do find it very because I'm sort of past hot flashes, but I do run warm. And a slipover is perfect. And I also like it because I can wear it over a long sleeve t-shirt or a turtleneck or a white blouse or another colored blouse. And it just gives you that extra layer of warmth. And so I do really like them. So I cast this one on Friday when I was feeling really sick and I couldn't wrap my head around anything complicated. And the back is literally just a rectangle with a tiny, tiny bit of shaping. And then I cast the front on yesterday. I attached the front yesterday morning, and I think I have like 2 rows of ribbing before I cast that off. And it has an attached folded edge, so you can't really see it, but I'll fold the edge in. And, you know, I could be wearing this maybe on the weekend, because once I'm done that, I have a couple of tabs to do, and then I just have to wash and block it. So I am taking this with me and hoping to have it finished by then. It is so soft. And this is it's stash yarn, some Berroco vintage, just regular, so worsted, I guess. And my ever favorite mohair. This is Sugar Bush Drizzle in the color Royal Rain. And I don't know what the color this is because this was for another project, the vintage. And it got frogged and I just had the balls in a bag. So I don't know what color it is. I just know that's what the yarn was. It is so soft. And look at, this is a teal and a pretty bright blue. But when you put them together, it gives this, like the silk strand, it gives it a real heathered look. So I'm pretty excited to get this done. It is supposed to have a turtleneck. I think I might modify the neckline. I don't know whether I'll do a rolled neck, which is not a rolled neck, like as in a folded turtleneck, but just a little roll, a couple rows of garter so it just rolls on itself. Or like a split neck so that when you fold it down, there's a bit of an opening. I haven't decided that yet. And I think when I block it, it's an interesting construction, and it's not like it feels small. But I measured And everything is right based on the schematics and the pattern and the measurements in the pattern and all those things. So I'm trusting the process. And you know, if it's small, I have friends who are smaller than me, and I've only got like 3 days of knitting in it. So I've been working on it, watching the Scott Tournament of Hearts. It's perfect curling knitting. And I could have it finished. Well, I almost finished it during this morning's draw. I almost finished the ribbing, so I could have it finished by the time I leave in the morning at 4 a.m. Maybe not, but I won't have much left to do. So I had to record this so I could pack. Because I want to wear some of the things that were new, and I don't like to wear them until I've shown them to you guys, so that's all I need is a reason. But I'm really enjoying this. So this will be another slip over in my collection. And I'll take my Lulu with me too. I wear that a lot. It is just the easiest piece in my wardrobe right now. And I probably will take, I have a couple of vests I really like. I'll probably take those too, or at least one of them. But this is so soft. It's amazing how these two go together. And I know the Sugar Bush is discontinued, but if you ever find someone who's destashing it, there are none of the Sugar Bush yarns that I have knit with, and I've knit with a lot of them that I didn't like. Like if someone in your area is destashing Sugar Bush, I always think it's a worthwhile purchase. This is like such an instant cast on. It isn't even in a bag. It's just sitting on the coffee table downstairs. Like I didn't even put it in a bag. So that is my plug and play slip over by Pairs Well with Knitting. I don't know what her name actually is. I mean, I know she has a name, but I don't know what it is. So the next thing I'm working on is, well, there's all kinds of things here, but I'll show you these. And I have a hoe. This is almost a vanilla sock. I just did a little slip stitch pattern. This is yarn from Jen Teal at the Yarn Therapist, and it was a sock set that was given to me by my friend Heidi. She gives me lots of these things, and I really like it. And apparently so did one of the dogs, because he chewed the mini, so there were a few breaks in it. So I did magic knot the breaks together, and I am still using it, and I'm being very careful with all the extra ends. There's not that many, but, and putting it in. And I'm doing this on my 9-inch circulars. These are probably zeros. I have 2.25s and zeros, but the way, I mean, I never check, I just use them. And the way the fabric feels, I think these are probably the 2s, which is a US 0. And I'm past where I'm going to cut in the heel, because I just do the slip stitch on the back of the leg, and then I switch to plain for the sole of the foot because I don't want that feeling. It's a 64 stitch sock. 1x1 ribbing on the top. Just did a pop of color because and then went into the stripes. Yeah, so this will be done. I'll probably finish this. I suspect this will be my plain knitting tomorrow, and it'll get finished on the plain. And it's a bag that has lots of my goodies that I like to have with me on the plain. So that's, I'll have to remember to take out my, I love this. And I don't know if they always carry it, the Yarn Habit Yarny Hand Helper. It's a really nice salve that feels really good on my hands. So I do like that. So that is in there. Just took my glasses prescription out. I probably don't need that in there. So one sock done, 1 2/3 done. I should have them both done by next time, and maybe on a blocker. But I love this color. I don't know what the colorway is. One of the things that was sacrificed when the dog chewed on the yarn was the label. But I know it was from Jen at Yarn Therapist. And it is in my topsail canvas bag left me, completely left me. I love these little pouches, which reminds me, if, hopefully you're watching, the person who was the winner on my last episode was announced, has not gotten back to me yet. If I've not heard from them by the next time I record, and you guys all know I'm random, like I might record in 2 weeks, I might record in a month, I will draw a new winner, because I want to get that off to somebody. It's sitting on my desk and I keep seeing it there and I go, oh, no one's gotten back to me. If you go watch that episode and then email me at thefrontporchknitter@gmail.com, because that prize is in one of these little pouches, which is the perfect size for a small shawl or a sock project. Like, it's just a really nice size. And Sadie makes beautiful bags. So that is another whip I have on the go, and that one will go with me on the plane tomorrow. And the next, oh, this one will be on the plane tomorrow too, probably, is in a pine and pearl bag. Surely not everyone was kung fu fighting. Some of them must have been knitting. And it is a muscle burrow. This has been my appointment knitting this month. And I love this colorway. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And I have to admit, I started this thinking I was going to give it away, but I now think I might keep it. It is Richard DeVries. I guess he's just Richard.com is the it's the label. And the colorway is Warp Speed Dark Matter. And I picked this up at the Thoughtful Artisan. He did a trunk show there. And I just love it. And I might not be able to give it away. I don't have a muscle burrow for myself yet. So that's a reason to keep this one, right? I think I did this one, the adult large, and I would say it's on a 2.25. I'm no good at reading these needles. Uh, 2.5. Just my Chowco interchangeables. And I don't know how many stitches I have. I measured and I followed the pattern. I just did whatever Isolde T told me to do. She knew what she was up to. But that's one of my projects that'll go with me, I'm sure, because it's an easy one to work on. Oh, I have two. So this is part of my, oh, there's things in there I want to take with me. This is part of my Advent. So the Leo and Roxy Awkward as Flock Advent also included some embroidery yarn. And so I'm putting my name on the back of my bag that came with my Advent. And I've obviously taken it off in my bag here somewhere. I have a very nice needle holder, which I have taken off and put somewhere. Here it is. Oh, the back is probably in the bag. Yeah, there it is. My Awkward as Flock. And I've got the letters for my name done. I just have to back stitch around them. So I've just been working on that. This just sits on the floor beside my chair downstairs. And it is also in a topsail canvas bag. And yeah, there's 3 colors of embroidery yarn came with it. It was random. It was a very awkward. Oh, 4. Here's the other color. There were 4 colors in it. I obviously miscounted. And a page of embroidery ideas. And we had to get together. It was before Christmas or after. I think it was before Christmas one day to start working on it. It came with a page of ideas of things to embroider on your bag and some wash away stabilizer. So that was part of my advent. And then the other part of my advent, I know you guys are going to think this is hilarious, is a crochet project. And you guys probably didn't even know I crocheted. And I probably really don't. And so I have been working on, this is the triangle wrap from Anna Boo's house. It's a free pattern on her website, on her blog, I think it is. And I have just, I started here, been doing all the colors in the advent. It's pretty big already. I did not do it over Advent. I started it, I might have started it at New Year's. I just wound up color 13, which is Great Big C. And I will not be taking this with me. It's the next color I have to add in. So it's going to be like a schlanket. More than a shawl, less than a blanket. And I'm using a Prim, I don't know what kind, 3.5 USE hook. Just looks like this. Oops, you can't see that. Looks like this. And I just pulled my thread through my anyways, let me fix this so I don't put it away not the way I want it. There. Yeah. So it's just a granny stripe. And I haven't used up all of every one. I wanted to keep little bits for my Cozy Memories blanket. And so I did until I knew I wouldn't be able to do another stripe, like full stripe. So it starts out, there's quite a bit in the first ones, and now I'm down to being able to do 2 stripes with each color. And yeah, I just wind them up one at a time and work on them. And then I've been putting the leftovers back in the box. This is another Pine and Pearl bag. I'm just a girl standing in front of her ends asking them to weave themselves. I love these little bags. They're a great price point. They're fun. They're funny. And they're squishable, hold lots of things. And she always has so many cute ones. I've given some of them to my daughter-in-laws who crochet too. And hang on, another crochet project. Also not in a bag. I had it, it is done in, I don't know who this is, Lion Brand 24/7 cotton in a red, pink, and my guess is natural. It's the one that doesn't have the ball band. And I just started doing, because I saw them at Little Redmond, Hearty Giraffe. The heart's not perfect. My crochet intarsia needs some help, but it's there. And I have most of his body done. I have a couple more rows to do on his body. And I think that's going to be for my little goddaughter's brother, who just turns 1 the beginning of March. So I'm thinking I might get that done by the time he turns 1, or by the time we celebrate him turning 1 at least. So I'm working on that. That's 2 crochet projects in 1 episode. You never thought you'd see that here. And then the last thing I'm working on is I have 2 braids of Dye Pretty yarn. It's my friend Marissa. And this is 65 superwash merino, 35% silk. The colorway is Clownfish. So that's what it looked like in the braid. I got 2 braids of it, and I have the first braid about almost done. I have I divided it in 3, and I have 2 bobbins here, and I have one on my, I have the Dreaming Robots Nano Spinner. I think I have the most recent model. Yeah. And I love it. I love the Nano because I can take it with me. Like, it fits in, I have a small box. It fits right in, so I can pack it in my suitcase even and take it with me if I want to the East Coast. So, yeah, I'm working on that braid. And it's very pretty. And then I'll do the other braid. I split the braid in 3 and spun, didn't worry about whether I was spinning from the same end or anything. It doesn't matter. It's so variegated, it's not going to make a difference. But I spun each of the 3 sections, and then I will ply them because there could be a bit of variation in the tones. I will do the same with this braid, and then I'll spin them together. Apply them together. But I really like this color. So that's my spinning whip. So I think that's all the whips I have right now, which is a lot, a very lot. There were 2 other things I wanted to talk to you about. Gadgets, sort of. A gadget and an app that I recently acquired that have been amazing for me. My friend Leanne in New Brunswick, Leanne Duguay, I think so. I don't know. Leanne, I may have just said your name wrong. She uses one of these, and I went, perfect. I often read on my Kobo, and you put this little thing on your device, and you turn it on, and then this is weird. This isn't what you're supposed to do. This is a knitter hack. I tuck in, this is the remote, and I don't have to put my knitting down, and I can turn the page. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's called a remote page turner, I think. I'll link this one down below. There are lots of different ones. Read them and see if you think that's the one that I'm trying to get back to the page I was on. If it's the one you would like. If anyone cares what I'm reading, it is A Castle in the Air by Kelly Armstrong. And it's a series, and this is like number 3 or 4, and it's time travel, if that's the kind of thing that interests you. So it's set in like Victorian times, and either the future of Victorian times or the past of Victorian times. But this little gadget is amazing because I don't have to set my knitting down to turn the pages on my book. And how is that for being a lazy knitter? Crazy, right? Crazy that I would be so lazy. And the other thing is something my friend Manon Drolet told me about. It is an app, and I only have the free, you can get a paid version. And the app is called Pocket Knitting. And let me see if I can show you if I can find you can find it in the App Store. It's this one right here, Pocket Knitting. Oops. And I think it's available on iOS and Android. I have it on my phone as well. If I wanted them to sync, I would have to get the paid version. But I mostly only use it on my iPad. I use it on my phone to check information more than for knitting. Also because if I make the words big enough on my phone that they're easy for me to read, it's a pain. But you can put a PDF or download from Ravelry. So these are some of the pattern. I'm sorry for the glare, but the windows there. Some of the patterns, and I'm going to pick one of the patterns, a pattern that I know was a free pattern. None of those ones are. Well, this is one that came with the app, the Gin and Tonic hat by Julie Crawford. But you can page, I'm going to hold it back far enough that you can't really read it. You can page through, and there is a, if I can get it to move, there. There's a bar to mark where you're at. So you can move this up and down. You can change the color scheme. You can keep track of where you are. You can also add there's a row counter up here. So you can add multiples. So like the project I'm working on with the cabled sweater, it's a very simple project, but I have a row counter for where I'm at in chart 1, where I'm at in chart 2, where I'm at in the decreases, and how many repeats of the decreases I've already finished. And that way it's really easy to keep track of everything. And I just touch it and it can go up and down. I have, so the patterns just download easily from Ravelry. It will tell you if a pattern isn't going to really work in it. So for example, the crochet wrap I'm doing, it doesn't work as well for crochet patterns as it does for knitting patterns, just because of the nature of the pattern. But it told me that one wouldn't really work. And even if I saved it as a PDF, I could have saved it as a PDF and it would have gone in and it would have been fine. But it really is a game changer. And I have, I've got some folders, so I have cowls, whips. So those are the patterns I'm working with most frequently. I have tops and slipovers, accessories, socks. And then for some reason, I still have things that I haven't put into category, like I haven't moved them into folders, but I could. And I was just thinking I need a gnome. I do need a gnome folder. I mean, and the plug and play is here, not in the slipover or the whips folder, but I could have used them right away. But I can also delete them. I don't need to keep them stored in here because they're still in my Ravelry library. So I don't really need them in both places. Things that I make on repeat and I have notes of how I modify them, I might keep in here all the time, because you can also make notes of what you did. So if you're working on, for a cardigan, for example, the right side and then the left side, if you change something like the measurement or anything, you can write it in. Like there's a spot for you to make notes that you can keep. The paid version is a monthly subscription, and I so far have not missed having the paid version. Maybe other people would, I don't know, but the free version works amazing for me. And Manon showed me this last year at Fiddlehead, and I've used it for a while now to make sure, because I don't want to promote something that I don't feel is a big help, but I rarely print a pattern, and this is as close to having a piece of paper as I've seen. Well, one of the things I did was, like, you can highlight things. So I can go through and highlight the numbers for my size. If I can do it, so my love note is not in here. It is in the Tin Can Knits app, because that is an amazing app for their patterns. I wouldn't put them in here because I can use them on their app, which is designed for it. But this has been an amazing tool. And when there's free tools, that I really believe in, I'm happy to promote them. I mean, even if they're paid tools, I would be happy to promote it. But as a free app for organizing your patterns, if you have an iPad or a bigger phone than I do, probably, it is a great way. Or maybe you don't need a bigger phone. Maybe you just need younger eyes. Or, as you'll notice, I don't have my glasses on half the time, so maybe wearing my glasses would help too. But that, I really liked it. And that is Pocket Knitting, and you can find it in the App Store. And I think it's available for both Android and iOS. So those are my two gadgets. Like the page turner is really just, I don't know what it is, but if I can just do that and turn the page, my husband sometimes looks at me like, what are you doing? Because when he's watching hockey or golf or football, I'm often in the room with him, but I'm reading and I keep going like this and he wonders why. It's because I have my little page turner thing tucked. I need to get it. I need to attach a clip to it so it'll clip onto my collar or something. I have to figure that out. I haven't gotten that far yet. It doesn't come with one. It's supposed to, I think it's designed for if you have it sitting further away from you on a stand or something, so you're not always reaching out. But it's great for, you can keep going and just do it. Maybe, I don't know if you have to have a big chin like mine to make it work. I have no idea. But that's a good gadget. I'll link one down below. I'll link the one I got down below, and you can check that out. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my tea, which is very cold, in my very spring mug. I also have to paint this room. I would love, I'm thinking of green, but I'm not sure. My daughter, when we moved into this house, this color is called aubergine. And in daylight, it's not too bad. But at night, it just sucks all the light out of the room. Like, I don't think you could have a light fixture. Like, I don't even have the lights on in this room right now. I just am using the window. But I don't think you could have a light fixture that could make this room not feel dark and heavy. But, you know, teenagers at that time, she really loved it. And yeah, it's a nice color. It's just not a color I would choose. Okay, so we're at the acquisitions part. If that's not what you're interested in, yeah, see you. We'll talk to you later. But if you want to know what I was up to, it's kind of fun acquisitions, and there's not a huge amount. Stay tuned. So before Christmas, Leo and Roxy announced they were doing a Positive Cause sock set as a fundraiser, and it came with a the Sweet Tart socks pattern by Pam Graham. One of the dogs needed surgery or something, so I did buy that. I mean, it's another sock set, and it was the same price as any sock set I would have bought, and it was just a nice way I could support their pupper. So it's this pretty gray, which is about the color the dog was, and 2 pops. It's 2 20-gram minis and 115 grams of their 80/20. Now I'm going to cough a lot. I'm sorry. It started. It's hard to keep it stopped. And also before Christmas, and I can't remember if Timber was having a sale or I don't know what was going on. I'm pretty sure I got a, yeah, I can't remember. I might have bought their Christmas, I don't know. But I placed an order with Timber Yarns anyway. And this was one of the one-of-a-kind colorways that I got. And this is on their, it's 2 50-gram skeins on their, I don't know what the base is. I think it's an 80/20. Yeah, 80/20 merino nylon. And I got this one vintage Christmas. And my favorite thing about them is they come with a hot chocolate. So I got those. And then this past weekend, and next weekend as well, so the 15th and the 22nd, because of the weather, they're doing it next weekend as well. The Little Red Mittens' birthday was, I don't know which birthday it was, but it was their birthday. Maybe their 15th birthday, maybe more. I can't remember. And they had a little celebration, and there were some discounts on some things. And I met a friend beforehand for coffee, which is always nice. And I just picked up some yarn and some fiber. I picked up 2 of these DK socks, soft spin. This one is color 004. And this one is color 006. And they're 150 gram DK sock. So I like a DK sock. I can wear them in my Birkenstocks. I know some people find them too heavy, but I actually like them in my Birkenstocks. And from Firefly Haven, these were one of a kind colorway green, and they're 100% 19.5 micron superwash merino. I got 2 braids of this green, which I think will be pretty spun up. I'm in danger of running out of fiber, said no one ever. But, and then I got 2 of this merino combed top, the colorway Passion, from, Little Red Mitten dyed, and they are 100 grams each. And you can see they're not exactly the same, but I think if I spin them each and then ply them together, you're not going to notice. But they're pretty. And that's all I bought. Since, oh, that's a fib. Because I went to New Brunswick, and you go to the craft sale. Both Sadie from Top Sale Canvas was there, and from her I bought for my mom for Christmas a little pouch. My mom does a daily devotional, and she has this Ziploc bag that she replaces about every 6 years, that she keeps all her things for her devotional in. And so I bought her a nice Top Sale Canvas pouch that everything would fit in, so she could ditch the Ziploc bags. Anyway, I got that from Sadie at Top Sale Canvas, and I got this from Amanda at Sweet Skein of Mine. 2 skeins of chicken bone, which I want to get cast on fairly soon, because I want to make, you need to look on Ravelry. The pattern is called Sleeve Vibes, and it is kind of a shrug, I guess is what you'd call it, but it's just like short, it comes like to here and is sleeves. So you could wear it like with a, like I envision this with a black tank dress or a black tank top and a skirt, when you just need it to be a little bit like in the evening, when you just, if you had sleeves, you'd be warm enough. That's what I'm doing. And this is the chicken bones colorway. I love chicken bones, and if you don't know what chicken bones are, I'm so sad for you. But they're only made in New Brunswick. Ganong's chocolates, and they're cinnamon on the outside and chocolate in the middle, and they're pink with chocolate in the middle. And there's nothing like a chicken bone at Christmas time. So that was the other thing I got. Because when you're at the craft sale, and they have all kinds of other fun stuff there, but you just see your knitting friends. And actually, and we ran into quite a few knitting friends there, which was also kind of fun. Heidi and I went, and then we went out for lunch afterwards. So that was nice, but we ran into Leslie and Lori, who are from Fredericton, our knitting friends, and we ran into Leanne, who's from St. John, which is quite far from Fredericton, but she was there with her mom, so we saw her. I don't know, and we saw other people. I saw Amanda, I saw Sadie. Can't remember who else we saw, but we did see quite a few knitting friends at the craft sale at the university. So that was fun. Yeah, so that's all. I will try and cut out the coughing and hacking. I'm sorry about that. And I am feeling fine. I just still have the cough, which is the worst part of having a winter cold, is when the cough hangs on after the feeling like crap hangs on. And I guess I need to tidy this room up a bit so I can pack and so I can fly out tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you're new, thanks for hanging in this long. If you've come back, thank you so much. I'd love to have you comment anything you wish. The thumbs up, the subscribe, all the things. It's interesting how much the giveaway from the past episode brought up my subscribers, because apparently the more people comment, the more people see the episode. So if you have time, feel free. And I look forward, hopefully it won't be so long the next time, because this is a lot of organizing when you have to remember what you did a month and a half ago. It's way easier if you do them closer together, and I just need to remember that and pop back in and see you sooner. Also, it would mean shorter episodes, which I think is better for most people. But I will be sure to have some footage from the gathering next weekend and all the fun things we get up to there. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Happy knitting.